Welcome back, everybody. Here with another episode of Monte's Gems. It's been a while.
Yep.
We blame that all on Jake and his little escapades and journeys
Yeah.
that he's on.
Yeah. It's been what, 4 weeks since the last one? Almost a
Yeah,
month.
it's 3 weeks without, almost a month.
Mm-hmm. It's been a
I've been
hot
sitting
minute.
here waiting for Jake to want to do a podcast. He's like,
Oh
no, I'm
yeah.
busy.
Yeah.
I got stuff to do.
It's partially your fault for the 1 week.
Because I had a birthday.
Yeah. Well,
And I invited you to come down here and visit me, so it's my fault.
yeah. Well, it's partially your fault. I mean, that's not all the blame on me on that one. But the next 2 weeks, maybe that's my fault. But
Maybe.
yeah, yeah, I'll concede the
Versus it
blame
was
for that.
definitely your fault.
Yeah, I'll concede that.
The following week on what was it, Friday or Thursday? I said, so 7:15 tonight. You're like, oh yeah, I'm going to a Theo Von,
Comedy show.
I guess what? Yeah, comedy show
Yeah.
performance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the following week it was, oh yeah, we're not gonna be able. I'm not gonna be able to do the podcast tomorrow. I have to drive to North Carolina. North Carolina or South Carolina?
North Carolina.
Yeah. I'm like, what the hell? Like, for what? Oh, work wants me to go pick up a trailer.
Yeah, that was a long drive.
Yeah. So I guess we'll get maybe started on the first of those adventures. Was the first week that we missed the podcast. Like Jake mentioned, it was my fault because it was my birthday. And he came down to visit me. So I was super grateful of him being able to be down here. And I think that was the first time you had ever tried cocaine, right?
Oh yeah, yep.
What were your thoughts?
There was no cocaine.
No.
Nope, not on my
The
end.
weekend went by a little bit faster than you expected, right?
Yeah, yep. No, yeah. What were some of the highlights? I mean, we went golfing. We went mini golfing. We played pickleball. I smoked you in pool and foosball. A little bit of everything.
Yeah, it wasn't much of a birthday present that
Yeah.
that he gave me. That was for sure.
Yeah, you didn't really
I
win
think
in
you missed some
anything.
of the. I think you missed some of the most important highlights, which was the very first thing is getting to ride in the slingshot and being
Yeah.
picked up. And one of
Yeah.
the first places we went were some of my favorite places to eat. So there's a restaurant down here that started off as a food truck. They have, I don't know, probably 20 some flavors egg rolls.
Yeah.
And so they have a standalone location that is between the airport and my apartment called World Famous Egg Rolls. And so I shared that little gem with Jake. I had my favorite chicken and waffle egg rolls and barbecue brisket. And then what ones did you try? Because one of those was actually pretty darn good to where I was considering having it next time.
I think I had a Philly cheesesteak and a buffalo chicken. Is that it? Were there two or three?
Two.
Two,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, so it was Philly cheesesteak and buffalo chicken. Those are both pretty good. Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
but,
maybe I didn't like it. I just like
yeah. But the way they do egg rolls is weird. Like we were kind of talking about it when we were in line. It's like it's not a classic egg roll where it's I guess I don't know. But they cut it in half like the long way. Whereas not cutting it in half like where it's the chunky section of each side, they cut it in half the least expecting way you would expect them to cut it in half. Like they cut in half the top and the bottom, and then I don't know how they do it, but it tasted pretty good.
I was thinking about that a little bit more after we discussed it, and I'm almost wondering if what they do is they do the outside layer of the egg roll, and they have some type of a mold that they put that around. They fry that, and so they can cut it in half and then fill it. Because if you thought about how high they were filled, it seemed like they were mounded up a little
Yeah.
bit more. There's no way they could have had that egg roll compact and then cut it in half.
Right.
like it was. So I wonder if somehow they cook the outer edge of it first, and then they just fill it with things, and then they somehow maybe flash fry it or something like that a little bit quicker or something. But it's a very interesting process, and the things are really, really good. So they have like chicken parmesan.
Yeah.
There was a burger beast. There were just so many different flavors. A waffle, fajita. My favorite were the brisket and actually the chicken and waffles. So that's why I went with those. But
Yeah.
and then directly from there, I went to go get gas, and I had to use the restroom. So I go to the
Yeah.
restroom. I come out, and there's Jake messing with the pump. I'm like, what happened? And I smell gas, and so I guess the
The shut off, the automatic
pump that
shut
I
off
used
didn't
was
work.
not to shut off, and it was going all over the outside. So
Yeah.
we had a little bit of a clean smell
Yeah.
on our 15-minute ride back home.
Yep.
Uh,
Because I started smelling gas and I looked back. I was like, what's going on? And then it's overflowing. And it actually did shut off by the time I got back there. So it didn't overflow a whole lot. But it was just like, okay, you would think that would shut off a little bit sooner. But nope. Started overflowing. That's the first time that's ever happened to me. I guess that's why they tell you don't leave the pump unattended.
yeah, which is why I left you there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was in my seat.
The issue is it wasn't unattended. It was someone not paying attention. So
Well,
it was attentive, maybe is what the words were. That when I
well,
left it.
you didn't say, hey, can you watch this for me while I go pee? So,
It was again my fault. So
yeah. Yeah.
after that, we came home. We went and played some pickleball against some older age men, and pretty much got our butts absolutely smoked and
Yep.
handed to us.
Yeah.
And so we really didn't want to play that anymore.
No. We
And,
went back the next day, but we barely played.
yeah, the wind was terrible.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
then actually we found another gym, dude. So I live very close to the beach within walking distance. It's about a 25-minute walk from my apartment to the actual water to where you're right there.
Mhm.
And there's a taco spot that I've kind of been eyeing, and I looked at their Yelp reviews and Google reviews, and we sit down, and they have, I don't know, about 10 different options in tacos. And so I got tacos, we got nachos, and like as she brought the food out, it was just absolutely amazing. It was like
Yeah.
a little hidden gem. Everything was like just cooked to perfection. The sauces were all great, and so it was. We definitely had some good food while we were down here. What did we have? The next day we went to got some chicken wings, and then the last day we had Whole Foods pizza, which is
Yep.
my go-to for pizza.
Yeah. It was a lot of good food. That taco spot was super good though. I can't remember what kind of tacos I got there, but they were, I don't know. There was just something about those tacos. They were just good. I think it's
I think
like just interesting flavors, not necessarily like your basic steak, chicken, beef tacos. It's like they spice it up a little bit, so it's something a little bit new and interesting. So maybe that's why it tastes so good. But yeah, just their sauces and their spices, they were just so on point.
so. Maybe the fusion that they added to the tacos
Yeah, maybe.
is where it was at. Yeah. So then the next morning we got a tea time earlier in the week, which this was quite an adventure too. Is that it's a public golf course down here,
Yeah.
and they allow you to make a tea time, which is about as difficult as it could possibly
Oh
be.
yeah.
To how you determine how many people you're getting, if you've made the tea time, if you've paid for the tea time, if the tea time has been reserved, and then if you've canceled the tea time, how you go about doing that. It was quite the adventure. Anyways, nonetheless, we were able to get a 7:34 tea time. Got paired up with a couple of older gentlemen that hit the ball out of their shadows.
Yeah.
They were using putters from probably 50, probably not 50, but 30 yards off the green. They were pretty much
Yeah.
just about everything,
Texas
keeping it rolling.
Texas Wedge was the best club in their bag.
Yeah, and the course that we played was terrible.
Yeah.
So back in Michigan, we were like dog track,
Yeah.
and people may not even pay to play it. So if this course was in Michigan, It may have been shut down by now
Oh
because of
yeah.
the condition.
Yeah.
The tee boxes were terrible. The only thing that was decent were the greens. The greens actually
Mhm.
rolled fairly decent, but they were hard as crap and they were somewhat small. So just trying to get
Mhm.
anything to stick from outside of, I would say, 150, 160 yards was, forget about it.
Impossible.
Not going to happen.
Yeah.
And then if you didn't get that to stick, you had little patches of grass that you were hoping to land on. And if you
Yeah.
didn't land on that, you were going to be chipping off hard pan, hitting off a hard pan, just nonsense.
Yeah.
It was pretty much lift, clean, and place everywhere
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
on the course.
The people we were playing with were definitely a hoot and a holler. I remember one thing that I had never seen is basically a raccoon. What do I want to say? Like, I don't know. They were just hiding. Green side, there's a bunch of bushes, and basically the raccoons are just hiding in the bushes, waiting for people's carts to pull up. And then once the people start walking towards the green, the raccoons just ambush and steal all the food and stuff in their cart. So we were on the green, and I just looked to my left, and this guy we're playing with is yelling at something at the cart. I was like, "What's he yelling at?" And I look over, and there's just a raccoon with a little, I don't know what he got, like gum or nicotine or something, and he put it in his mouth, and he ran away. And it's just like these raccoons know where to hide to just sit there and wait and steal people's food. It's like they've got it down to a science.
I think he called it like zips or something. And
Oh
then
yeah,
the guy's
yeah.
like, hey, what's this? He's got the zips. And then
Yeah.
after we finish up, we go back to the cart, and the one guy is like going in the trees,
Yeah.
trying
Chasing after
to
him.
hit it back to the golf club. So he
Yeah.
saved some of them, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the first time I'd ever seen that. What did we see? An alligator turtle? An alligator snapper or whatever? Saw one
Oh
of
yeah.
those. No actual alligators though. Didn't see any of those this trip.
No, there aren't many down here.
No.
In the, no, not in these areas. You have to go out west into the Everglades to see more alligators,
Mm.
or farther south of Miami. Any really the big cities where there's more people around, you don't really see alligators or even
Huh.
snakes or anything like that.
Huh.
Uh,
There's
it was
lizards
also
everywhere though.
windy. Yeah, iguanas, geckos, any
Yeah.
lizard, like everywhere you walk, look down and you'll see lizards
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
But it was also extremely windy, so
Mm-hmm.
that was uh, quite interesting and not super enjoyable to play. But nonetheless, I was happy that we didn't have to play behind anybody, because that would have made that round absolutely miserable. We just kind of flew
Yeah.
through it at, I think, like, what was it, like a 3.5 hour pace. They're like,
Yeah.
wow, you guys
Yeah.
did great. And I'm like,
Yeah.
dude,
Doesn't feel
that's
like
way
it.
too long.
Yeah. Yeah. 3.5 hours to play a round of golf is nuts.
And it just made me realize, I think, we used to go out there and play so much all the
Yeah.
time. And I'm just like, dude, what a waste of my life that just was. It's like, it might be different if you're like, playing for money or a tournament or something like that. But it was
Yeah.
just like, we just went out and played an absolute dog track of a course. It was in terrible shape.
Yeah.
It was super windy. Didn't really meet anybody. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just, I don't know. It seems like, I don't know if it's different or just the experience down here with the courses and the people that you meet are just so different. Back in Michigan, it was like, yeah, you guys can go out, play by yourself. You don't get paired with anybody. Just like, go have fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the first time I ever played golf where I had to be paired with somebody, just because the course is so busy that you have to play with somebody to make a foursome. That was interesting.
And then as we made the turn, it was getting close to probably like 9:30, right? No, that was probably more of like 9 o'clock. And just,
Yeah.
you could just see how these people stacked up,
Oh,
like
yeah.
waiting for him. Oh my gosh. I am so glad that I am not teeing off right now, because these guys are going to be here all day. And I remember that the last time I played was probably 3 or 4 months ago, when it was like a 10:30 tee time. and we finished, and we were eating dinner at the golf
Wow.
course. Yeah, dude, it was.
That's
I was
nuts.
just like, God, my whole Saturday is gone.
Gone.
Just gone.
That's a
It was
lot of time
here.
to golf. And it's not
And
even
also,
really golfing. It's just basically hit the ball, wait, hit the ball, wait. Oh man, that's rough.
yeah,
4 hours is plenty long. Anything over that, it's like, all right, I'm going home.
yeah, it had to have been 5 hours, 5.5 hours, or something like that. It was
Wow.
miserable. And it's not like it was cheap to play this dog track either.
Yeah, yeah. Well, why would they make it cheaper if everybody and their mom wants to play anyways? They could probably make it
Yeah, I
more
know.
expensive, and everybody'd still want to play.
Or they'd have to play because
They have nowhere else to go.
I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
but it was
Golf and
okay.
pickleball,
So then
not
we
great
have
for the wind.
what?
I said golf and
No,
pickleball, not
yeah,
great for the wind.
no. We actually after pickleball, we did see a couple of boys flying their kite. We went out there to
Yeah.
try to help them. But they would rather just not have any help at all. It seemed like
Yeah.
so. We laughed.
Yeah.
They wanted to show us how to fly a kite, and instead of trying to use some helpful tips and information and stuff,
Keep in mind
we
these
left the
kids were
beach.
like 4, 5, maybe.
Yeah. So
So,
we were supposed to get to play catch in terms of things that I
Mm.
asked to want to do for my birthday.
right, right,
And
right.
when I asked Jake if he remembered everything, he said yes. And then when he got here, I said, "Do you bring your baseball glove?" He's like, "Oh no, that's right. I forgot." So
Yeah,
one request that I had, he
I didn't
forgot.
forget it. Yeah, that was the one request, huh?
This is a major one.
Yeah, well, I forgot it. Nothing you can do about it now.
Nope. So played golf, and then we went to Publix, had some wings.
Hmm.
What do you think of the wings?
The wings were pretty good. I didn't think they were anything special, but they were like good wings. They weren't like I don't know. They were probably the better wings that I've had recently. They were nothing that knocked my socks off or anything, but they were pretty good.
Well, what wings are in the your socks off range?
I don't know. I haven't really had wings that are that good yet, so still waiting on that, I
Do you
guess.
think maybe it's because you don't like wings?
I like wings. Wings are pretty good.
What are the best wings you've ever had?
I don't know. There's none that have really stood out to me as the best.
What are some of the good wings that you've had?
I don't know. I guess I don't really keep track of wings like that. Like I said, maybe the wings, I've never just had any wings that were good enough to keep track of.
Or maybe you just don't really care for wings.
Maybe. I enjoy eating them while I'm eating them. I don't know if I've ever really craved wings like, "Oh man, we should go get some wings."
What foods and things have you ever craved? What things do you get excited about?
I like pizza. I like pizza a lot. Um,
Okay.
I like a good
What
burger.
pizza do you like?
Like what toppings or what location
No, what's
or
your favorite? Yeah, yeah. What's your favorite place to go to eat pizza, and what are your favorite toppings?
there's this place in Middlebury. It's called Danny's Diner. That's probably the best pizza that I've ever had.
From Danny's Diner
Yeah, it's probably the best pizza
in
I've ever had.
Middlebury, Indiana.
Yeah, it's freaking good.
What's your What's your favorite one?
From there or in general?
Yeah, yeah. No, your favorite like flavor or what toppings do you get?
I I like the Hawaiian pizza, which is ham, pineapple, uh, bacon. I like that one. I like Supreme, however house chooses to make it. Sometimes they put olives. Not a big fan of olives, but I'll eat it if it's there. Um, I like a good regular pepperoni if it's made right. Not ooh, I like a good Buffalo chicken. Buffalo chicken pizza is pretty good. I feel like it's very underrated. I feel like there's not many people that like buffalo chicken. Barbecue chicken, that's another good one. Hot honey chicken though. That's one that I found recently. It's pretty good.
Okay, so all of you viewers, after listening to Jake describe what types of pizza he likes, he doesn't really like pizza. He likes all the things that are on pizza. Pizza is just a cheese
Oh,
pie.
come
Like,
on.
no one can be a true pizza enthusiast unless they just love a natural cheese pie. That's what is the test of time and the judge of a good pizza is having a good cheese
No.
pizza. What he likes are all these combinations, everything on it. It's not even a pizza at that point in time.
It is most definitely a pizza. It's just because you add toppings
You
onto it
Americanize
doesn't
pizza
take
so
away from the
much to
pizza.
where it's irrelevant.
Oh yeah, okay. I feel like if you're going to a restaurant, the standard good pizza, if you're ordering cheese pizza, that's just so bland and there's nothing to go with it. I mean, you have to at least add a pepperoni on there. That's how I feel.
Did you ever watch Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just cheese and anchovies if they get anything on it.
Well, they're also turtles.
That's where pizza. Yeah, but that's what that's what brought pizza to America.
Yeah, okay.
Before Ninja
The
Turtles,
Ninja Turtles
nobody
did?
was really
Yeah,
ever
yeah.
eating any pizza. No,
Right.
they made pizza a landmark.
Oh, is that so?
In,
Where did pizza first come to the United States at then?
New York City, right where they
Oh,
were.
yeah.
1993.
Oh, yeah. I feel like that's a bit late, don't you think?
No, that's when they first brought it, like, and made it famous.
Yeah, you don't
It
think
was here.
you don't
It
think
just wasn't
America had
good.
pizza?
Or
Oh,
anything
okay.
before.
Okay.
Okay, so you talked about your favorite burger place. So, what's your favorite burger place?
That was my favorite pizza place. My favorite burger place? I don't know that I really have a favorite burger place. There's a lot of places with good burgers. I like a good smash burger though.
And where do you get one of those at?
I don't know. I feel like it's not
Danny's
very.
Diner.
No, I've never had anything but pizza from there. They sell other stuff, but I don't want to venture out and try them. I don't meet your heroes, so I don't want to.
So how did you venture upon this? How did this first trip go? Did you like know that they had good pizza, or you're like, oh, there's this cool place here, Danny's Diner, and then you start looking through the menu and it's like, oh, I'm gonna get their pizza, and then you just tried their pizza firsthand, or did you go there like knowing that they were gonna get the pizza? Because like,
Oh no.
that's important.
Well, we went there knowing we were gonna get pizza, but we hadn't heard of the place or looked up reviews or anything. It was just kind of a little surprise gift of really good pizza. Because I mean, we were in
How
Middlebury
did
at
you
the
get
time.
pizza?
I googled pizza near me, and that place popped up.
Is this like one of those like 24-hour diners that you
Uh-uh.
go in and they're just okay.
No. It was just like a just little restaurant almost. They had some
So you could be
outside
missing out
seating.
on some other really good food there that they have that they're even maybe more well known for, but you won't test it.
I don't think they are more well known for it though. I feel like pizza is kind of their main thing, and then if people go there and they want other stuff too, then they have it. But I don't think that's their thing. I feel like they're known for their pizza, but I guess I don't know. I just searched pizza near me, and it was either that or Pizza Hut, and I said no thanks, Pizza Hut. So we tested that out. What a gamble that was, though, huh? Could have had Pizza Hut, or I could have missed out on the best pizza of my life if I just went Pizza Hut.
Yeah, well, like I mean, at Pizza Hut and pretty much anything, I would say go with anything. Like growing up, as kids wanted to used to have like Pizza Hut and Domino's,
Yeah.
and I hated those places. the crust was always hard and dry. It's like it's rough too. It's like one of those things where you eat either one of
Mm.
their crusts and
And it like
it's rough
hurts.
on your tongue. Yeah,
Yeah.
it hurts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, why the hell do you want this? Like, what's so great about it?
Yeah. Which
My go-to
mentioning,
was Little Caesars.
yeah, Little Caesars was pretty good. I liked Cottage Inn, but mentioning pizza that hurts your mouth when you eat it, when we went to that Theo Von concert. After we left the concert, we hadn't ate before we went, so we just decided to get a pizza, and it was like zero point 0.2 miles away from the venue or whatever. So we went to get a pizza, and man, it was in Chicago. Well, it wasn't Chicago, but basically Chicago. So they had Chicago style pizza, and it's like, I don't know. Not a big fan of Chicago style pizza, especially that one. The crust was too hard or crispy. And when I bit into it, the top of my mouth, it like started scratching it. It's like, oh, this is not great. The pizza itself
That's
tasted
usually because
okay, but
it's too hot for me.
no, 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 no. It wasn't because of the temperature.
All right.
It was the bread on the bottom. It was too crunchy.
Why was the bread on the bottom hitting the top of your mouth?
Well, you gotta bite through it.
You like swirl it around.
Yeah. I like to get the full adventure taste, I guess.
Experience.
Yeah, experience.
Let the crust hit the top and bottom of your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Quite interesting. Was it deep dish?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I've only had deep dish pizza once, and I don't have a very big recollection of it. Actually, I remember we were supposed to go to a really good place there, but it was super hot, and I remember burning the absolute crap out of my mouth because I did not want to wait for it to cool off. I think I'd already waited. We went to like a Cubs game,
Oh.
and then we went to eat pizza, and after the Cubs, it had already been a Cubs game where I didn't eat through that, and then it'd been like an hour that we had to wait for the dang pizza in line, and then
Yeah.
it was terrible. And
I usually like deep
Yeah.
dish pizza, but not that one. Very, very disappointed in that pizza, I will say.
Okay, so the following weekend after you came down here for my birthday, oh, actually, so after the wings, we went to Tiger Woods's putt
Mm.
putt mini golf, and it's called Pop Stroke, and I think that was one of the highlights of the trip. That
Yeah,
was
definitely.
awesome. There's a lot of people there, families, younger, older. Everybody was there having fun whenever there was a hole in one. And these are two 18-hole mini golfs where people are like in line waiting on each hole. So it was
Yeah.
super busy. Really, really busy. Whenever somebody would get a hole in one, there was hooping and hollering going on. People
Yeah.
were super excited, which was cool to see.
Yeah.
And it was quite difficult. Like we played the easiest course first, which wasn't too bad. But then that second one, it was like
Mm-hmm.
it was actually we were trying to figure out. It's like, why is this so much longer? And about 4 holes ahead, you could see
Yeah.
there was this way more difficult hole that was just causing people all sorts of problems.
Oh,
Everybody
yeah.
would get blacked out on that. As soon as people got around that, then it was like smooth sailing. You weren't waiting at all. But it's like everybody was struggling on that hole.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was a giant hill, and also there was a group of like 8 or 10 people up there playing a super long hole. So that's probably what held a lot of the lineup. I mean, we had to have waited, what, 30 minutes at least for that hole?
Yeah, well, I think got from the second or third hole on that 18, and I remember waiting probably 30 minutes just at that hole to get
Yeah.
up to that hole.
Oh,
and,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
do it. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was the way. But it's cool. I mean, $30 a person. You can play as much as you want. Like if you drink, they bring drinks out to you right there on the course, which we didn't drink or anything, but it was great. It seemed like really great customer service. They have cornhole there. They had ping pong tables. They had, a restaurant there, full service. So it was like, yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't like a regular mini golf course where there's like just random obstacles and whatnot in the way. It's like basically a real green made out of turf, and there's like sand traps and stuff like that, and a little bit of break in the greens, not a whole lot, but I mean, yeah, I guess there was, I don't know. But for straight putts, it wasn't like too crazy, but there were a lot of hills and whatnot. But yeah, it was a more so realistic mini golf experience rather than the average fictitious mini golf where there's just a bunch of stuff in the way that makes it hard.
Clowns and hit it off
Yeah.
this wall to get to that angle
Yeah,
over
yeah.
there,
Yeah.
over the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the sand traps, it's not real sand. It's like
Turf sand.
turf that is colored sand, but it's a little
Yeah.
thicker, so it's
Yeah.
not just like the green surface. There was undulation. The undulation wasn't as much, I would say, probably surrounding the hole, the 5 feet right around the hole. But if you hit it past the hole, where there were holes where it would come back and almost go in the hole and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
most of the undulation was like as you were hitting from the tee box and then behind the hole. So I think you'd have more of an opportunity if you hit it too hard for it to funnel back towards the hole and going back and forth.
Yeah.
But some of them you had to be you had to have really good tempo control or distance control to be able to hit it to where it would roll down to the hole. Because if you hit it too hard, you were absolutely gone.
Yeah.
Or if you didn't hit it hard enough, it was going to be coming all the way back to you from the tee box. So
Yeah. And I guess maybe my distance control is just better than yours or something because you didn't have any hole in ones. And I had what, two,
no, I
three?
think your luck is just a little bit better than mine.
Right. That must be what it is.
Somehow you got 3 hole-in-ones out of these, and I didn't get any. Which to say that after 36 holes for me to still be tied with you and not have any hole-in-ones. Which there was one hole where I just made a couple of mistakes. Somebody let us play through, and I was kind of rushing a little bit.
No, right.
Telling me to hurry up.
Yeah, that's
So,
not
a
how I
little too
remember it.
fast. Just kind of messed up to get through, and
Yeah.
I we ended up
Yeah.
tied through 36 holes, and then they had a challenge hole.
Yeah, and who won that
And
one?
I went first on the challenge hole, and I didn't hit it hard enough, and it rolled back, and that ruined it.
And then I took the victory.
Yeah.
I beat you by 2 on the first 18. You beat me by 2 on the second 18. And then I smoked you on the challenge hole too.
You smoked me on the challenge hole, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I would say so. I mean, would you not? Do you recall it
Well,
differently?
you just had to win the challenge hole. That was all it was. You won the challenge hole. Okay, you smoked me on it? Like, ooh.
Yeah.
How much did you smoke me by?
2 strokes.
Oh, come on.
I beat you by 2 strokes on the challenge hole.
Well, all you had to do was win by 1.
Well, I beat you by 2.
After I didn't get the first putt up and over, and you did, I already knew it was over. It was just pointless to even finish. Like,
Well, I guess it might not have been over, but your second and third putt really proved it to be over, I guess. Because even if you hit it over,
I had to make the second putt, which I didn't. So it was just
you
like,
didn't make the third putt either, though.
yeah, but I didn't need to.
Well,
It was lost.
you could have saved yourself some embarrassment. Everybody else was watching, and then they said, "Oh, when I won."
It was suddenly nobody. I was like, we were the only 2 people that even started on the damn challenge. Because I think everybody else had either tried too much or waited long enough to play the actual course where they were just going home or starting another round.
Yeah. Because, I mean, what time was it? It took us a good... Well, I guess we went there pretty late. And it ended at like 10 or something. Took us a couple hours probably, but...
Like, we finished?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say we were probably there 2.5 hours or so. I think we got there at like 7:30 and left at like 10:30. I don't know. Chipotle was still open because
Yeah.
whatever. Chipotle was still open, but I don't know. Maybe they stay open until 1. It wasn't that late though. It might have been like 11 or something.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. It seems like they would stay open pretty late. Or late enough, I guess.
So it was Jake's first time riding a motorcycle.
Yep.
What were your thoughts of riding in the slingshot?
It was pretty fun. A lot of wind.
Yeah.
I liked it though. It was pretty fun.
Did you like going fast?
Yeah. It didn't really feel like we were going all that fast.
Did you see how fast we were going?
I mean, I saw how fast we were going, but it's just in some
It didn't feel like it fast.
some modern vehicles. It doesn't really feel like you're going that fast when you're going fast, just because of how they're built.
No, but it would seem like you would feel like you were going faster because the wind's hitting your face and you're not
Yeah.
wearing a helmet or anything like that. So I'm surprised to hear you actually say that.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess the wind part made it feel like it was going pretty fast. There was a lot of wind, but other than that,
Yeah.
yep. It was pretty fun.
So that pretty much ended your trip down here. And then the following week, like you said, you went to Theo Vaughn. What were your thoughts on that?
It was pretty funny. He had two people open for him that I hadn't heard of before, and they were both pretty funny. I don't remember either of their names, but it seems like they're probably in his group of touring comedians, or he takes them on tour with him, obviously. But they were both pretty funny. And then his show was probably a good hour and a half, and it was pretty funny throughout the whole thing. The traffic afterwards was pretty rough. That is like one of the worst located arenas that I've been to, just because, oh man, there's so many people and there's like 3 exits, and it was rough.
Where was it? Was it like at like the Bulls Stadium? At like
No, it was called Allstate Arena.
Okay.
I can't. It's not in Chicago. It's in a city next to Chicago. I don't remember, but I don't know. It was a lot of traffic. Which, I mean, theaters and arenas and stuff, they're always like that. But maybe I just haven't been to enough of them. But the traffic there was really bad.
I'm assuming it was a stadium for a sports team or something of that fact.
Yeah,
right?
it was a hockey stadium. I can't remember. It might have been like a semi-pro hockey or something, but
Okay, so it wasn't the Blackhawks.
no.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
So that was something I was thinking about as we were preparing for this podcast. And I guess sometimes when you just look at people that are successful, or maybe they're role models or they're famous, like, have you ever thought about what it takes to get to that point? Like, each one of those performers, if you were to try to figure out, like, how could I be there? How could I get myself and present myself on stage like that? And the amount of creativity that would go into it, or what do you have to do to be able to put yourself out there, to be able to get recognized, and then to be able to, I don't know if it's get accepted or to entertain people. Like, have you ever thought about what that looks like?
Not really in the comedic sense. I mean, I feel like a lot of it is just going out and getting repetitions and writing a lot. And I mean, if you do it a lot more and you take it seriously, you're obviously going to grow and get better at it if you're truly taking it seriously. But if you don't write and you just kind of go out there just to go out there, then you're probably not going to get a whole lot better. But I'm sure some of it's luck with who's watching, but it's giving yourself the better odds by doing it the most amount of times that you can, being at your best the most amount of time. I mean, that's how I see it anyway.
Yeah. I've just been thinking about the mindset that someone has to be in to be able to go out there, to be able to mess up, to maybe not, to get rejected, to get booed off stage, and then to go out there again and to keep trying and to keep trying and to keep trying. period.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I think if you look at the normal population, right? So most of us are just going around life. We're going to work. We're doing what someone tells us that we need to do at work, but we're really not taking the initiative to be able to create something new at work, coming up with ideas about how we could change things at work to make work better, or to be able to stand up and say, hey, I would like to do this, or I would like to do that, or to ask questions,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe even to stand up for ourselves, be like, hey, like, Chad, you're gonna have to work extra hours. And I'd be like, no, like, I can't. Like,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's even a given. Whereas I think in order to get that amount of success and to maybe break away from the norm, you have to put yourself out there like no one else is willing to do. And that, to me, that has just always seemed somewhat difficult, as I'm learning to do that more and more, because I'm learning to care a lot less what people think, and trying to present myself to more people and to ask more questions, or maybe to ask, hey, like, do other like people that I meet, like, see if they have similar business interests or anything like that. Say, hey, like, we want to go hang out, want to go to Pop Stroke, want to go do this. And so just each time someone says no or rejects it, not taking that personally, but
Mm-hmm.
just continuing to do that. Like, on the weekend, or during the week after work, I'll go walk out to the beach, and I don't really talk to people or anything like that, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just going out and being about and putting myself out there instead of sitting in the confines of my own home and just feeling comfortable. It's like, for me personally, it just doesn't do much. Like, my
Mm-hmm.
personality is to be around people. It's to be able to learn things. So sometimes, yeah, I can get a book and do that. But it's like, okay, like, how can I progress myself? How can I better myself today? What do I have to do? And it's usually not by sitting at home and doing nothing or watching
Mm-hmm.
YouTube or trying to learn, but it's about like going out and being about and trying to present yourself in front of other people. And I don't think that's something that we've grown accustomed to or grown up
Mm-hmm.
with really around. It was just like, go home, be around your friends, be comfortable, and do this. And like, and when I
Mm-hmm.
think about these comedians, like, dude, like, these guys have to just be putting themselves out there, or they
Oh
have
yeah.
to just have a really strong support group of people to where there's just a really good group of friends, and they just went out horsing around all the time. And but still, it's like, other people have to find you funny. You have to like connect with a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, like you were saying, just going out and walking to the beach and seeing all these people, it's like, I don't know, it's just so much better for your mental health than just sitting inside and, like you were saying, watching YouTube or reading a book. Even if you're like doing something to better yourself, it's just walking down to the beach and seeing all these other people that are trying to do the best for them. It kind of lifts you up and gets you motivated, and it's, I don't know, it's kind of a weird energy to it, but there's something to it for sure.
And actually, that brings a good point. So when I think the final day we walked out to the beach, went out to the pier,
Mm-hmm.
and it was so much. It was interesting to just you being there with me, how much easier it was for me to strike up a conversation with someone who was there fishing. I think his name was Eric or something, but I ended up having like a 30-minute conversation with him
Mm-hmm.
all about fishing, asking him questions about like what it is he's looking for, or
Mm-hmm.
how he determines what's a good spot. And it was just like a really enjoyable conversation, where
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I would have more difficulty just doing that by myself. But I think it was because me and you were, I was like, I asked you a question and I was like, huh, I wonder this. And you're like, yeah, I
Yeah.
wonder too. Whereas sometimes I'm there by myself and I'm wondering some of these things, and I just leave it to wonder
Hmm.
versus leave it to ask a question to get answers.
Yeah.
It was so much easier to ask a question when you were there. So.
Yeah. Yeah, because this guy was over there just catching. I mean, he was catching a fish pretty frequently. He was catching them every minute or 2 minutes. He was just pulling up another fish and just giving them away to some other guy, I think. And
Yeah, they were about like what, maybe this big,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
They were bait fish that he was
yeah,
giving to another guy who was hoping to catch like something.
something, yeah, something way bigger.
Happened.
Yeah. And I think you asked me if there was something that he saw or something in the water, and that's where he was throwing his line to. And so I think that's what you asked him initially, and then you just kept asking him more and more questions, and where he fished and what he likes to fish and how often he fishes and just stuff like that. And it was pretty informative on, I mean, I'd never been fishing really, and I didn't know anything about any of that stuff. I mean, we saw some other guy catch a crab. That guy was just catching a bunch of fish. I think once he started talking to us, he felt like more roped into a conversation, so he didn't want to move and go find a better spot to catch more. But yeah, he was catching
But it
pretty
was
good.
interesting because like as soon as we started talking to him, it was just like do.
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I think he, I don't know. I would say probably 6 to 8 fish while we were there in
yeah,
like a 30-minute conversation. I'm like,
yeah,
that's the most fish I've seen anybody catch ever since I went out there.
yeah, yeah. He was catching a bunch of them.
Because that's what he was fishing for too. It wasn't like he was
Mm-hmm.
fishing for anything big, but those were the ones he was hoping to find.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So I was out there, I think this past Sunday, and I don't know if you remember, but he was telling us that when it was calm, it
Mm-hmm.
was way easier to see the fish. And
Mm-hmm.
I was out there, and I could see, I
Oh,
saw a
really?
stingray, and
Oh, wow.
I saw barracudas. Yeah,
Oh,
I
wow.
was impressed. Dude, it was actually so clear and calm where I could actually see a stingray down there at the bottom of the sand. I mean, it was a big stingray.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
so that was pretty cool to see.
Huh.
Which I don't remember if the one time you and my brother Josh, you guys came down for another vacation, and do you remember when we went parasailing?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember being able to see the sea turtles when we
Mm-hmm.
were all the way up there? Yeah, so
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we saw some sea turtles. Just saw a bunch of stuff. Sea turtles were the most memorable, though. And I don't know, I can't really tell a fish from another fish. They kind of all look the same to me, unless they're up close, and then I can tell the differences. But fish just kind of look like fish to me because I don't know anything about them.
Yeah. There's like sharks, dolphins,
Yeah.
whales, fish, maybe puffer fish. I could probably
Yeah.
tell the difference between one of those.
If they're puffed up. If they're not
Yeah,
puffed up, you don't
stingray,
know.
yeah, jellyfish, and maybe octopus. Like
Mm.
those are the different types of sea creatures I would be able to probably
Yeah.
recognize.
Yeah. Yeah.
But going back to the conversation where we were talking about what it takes to strike up a conversation or to put yourself out there, I think that is a trait that gets missed through social media. I think sometimes it's easy to be in social media and think that we can connect with people, and that's how we can maybe determine our success or create opportunities. And so much of that face-to-face interaction gets dispersed. And as I've been off, I guess, wow, I've been off social media since January 1st.
Mm.
Like my anxiety levels of feeling like I had to be somebody for other people has
Mm-hmm.
greatly decreased.
Yeah.
And also my desire to have face-to-face interaction and not be worried about texting people or just being out in public, and wanting to have that intimate interaction has
Mm-hmm.
just I guess increased so much. But as I've done that, it's like this idea that, well, it's like playing baseball, right? So in order to get better at baseball, what
Mm-hmm.
do? We would go out and practice, right? We would go
Mm-hmm.
hit balls, we would go hit balls, we would go hit balls. And each time we hit, we wouldn't hit a home run. But as I think about that, it's like from a young age, and if there's kids out there or people out there who might be struggling in finding a job, or maybe with their weight or their diet or anything like that, it's just like you just got to go try it, and you got to try it again, and you got to try it again. And the first maybe 100 times, maybe you struggle, maybe you mess up, maybe it doesn't go as planned.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, you're going to get better at it, and you're going to get better at interviewing, and you're going to get better at creating a resume, and you're going to be able to understand what words hit or what things people like.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody doesn't hire you, and they do give you the grace of being able to call you back and let you know that, hey, they didn't hire you, asking a question to you, hey, what was it about the interview that you felt was lacking, or maybe my resume that I could improve on, or anything like that?
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything you recognized? Give them a chance to give you that input so that you can change it for the next person.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because I think for me, like, just my amount of nervousness, just being out in public, being around people and afraid to ask questions, has decreased so much as
Mm-hmm.
I've just put myself out there and started talking to people more and more and more. And it was like, wow, this is natural. Like, I don't get goosebumps. I don't feel like
Hmm.
so much pressure, like my heart's beating or anything like that. And it's just like, oh, okay, that person didn't want to talk to me. Okay, move on. Where
Hmm.
previously I would have taken that so personally, dude, where it was just like, oh, I was like, oh, that hurts so bad. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
ever talk to anybody ever again.
Yeah. 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 It's just doing it and getting used to it. And because I mean, it's something that I've never been used to. So just going out and doing it and actually getting used to it, I feel like is probably huge.
And that's I think what is so special to me about like comedians, their ability for someone like Theo Von, who I think is actually very funny.
Hmm.
He can go up there now and and he just resonates with people,
Hmm.
like with
Hmm.
how he speaks. He's confident in what he speaks, because like I don't know how you felt, but I felt like I've offended people with like trying to be funny. So it's like, okay, maybe I can't say this, maybe I can't. And so now I've just tried to realize, just be Chad.
Hmm.
Like if you offend people, you'll offend people. Like try not to do that at work when it's residents or customers or anything like that. Okay, it's just like, just be Chad. And if someone takes something offensively, or they don't like it, it's like you can't control their reactions to what you did. You can try to be more
Hmm.
genuine in the next time and make sure you're not trying to hurt somebody. But if you're just trying to be funny and just trying to make laughter, it's like it's not all that bad. And I
Hmm.
think, I don't know, maybe growing up in a small school where you have a small group of kids, and like if you say something, like everybody heard it, and it's
Hmm.
just, and everybody's laughing at you, or maybe a girl's rejecting you, and it's like everybody saw that, that doesn't feel so good, and it's a lot harder. But where, as if you realize that you're one person out of the hundreds of millions of people here on this earth, and if you make a mistake over here, you can just go to another place where nobody else knows you. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I think that's something that's very overwhelming living in a small town, though, because if you live in a small town and you plan on living in that small town for the rest of your life, I can see where a perfectionist mentality comes to you, because like I have to be this persona, I have to be this person, because there's only 11,000 people who grew up in this town, and they're going to know me. And so if I've done something here, they're going to know that mistake, and that's going to be a constant memory. Where
Hmm.
that's the one nice thing about living in a big city, to where like people don't know you, and half the
Yeah.
time they're so busy doing everything else where they don't care to know you. Where
Yeah.
you don't have that small town feel where you get to have a commitment and deep relationships with people, but you also don't have that issue where it's like everybody is looking over you and judging you
Hmm.
either.
Yeah.
You know, like they're judging you, but not because they know you. It's just because maybe what car you drive or what clothes you wear, and that's it. But it's not like they're gonna go tell their friends who you also know about you, and they're gonna make
Yeah.
fun of you, and your parents are gonna find out, or like everybody's gonna. You're not gonna be the talk of the town. Like it's gonna go only so far, and then it disappears because not enough people even know you. Like
Hmm.
some of their friends aren't going to know you. We're in a small town. Almost all their friends are already going to. You remember that guy I went to high school with? Yeah, Jake.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is like, oh, shit.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of one of the ideas of big cities and people that live there. It's like, I'm never going to see this person again, so why does it matter? And it's so much easier to have that
Right.
mentality when the person probably isn't going to see you again. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the one thing for me that has really helped me being able to like boost my confidence and stuff like that, is that realizing, hey, like I can mess up and people won't know me. And I finally came to the point to where it's like I can mess up and I don't care if people know me.
Hmm.
It's like at some point that turned tables to where it's like, okay, I used to care, and then I realized, okay, these people don't know me, and now it's like I used to care, and now it's like if they do know me, I don't care. So now I
Hmm.
can do around the people. I can be in Sturgis and still make mistakes, or still be funny, or still look like a fool, and
Right.
not care what they think about me, because it's me. It's me. That's me. Yeah, I'm imperfect. I make mistakes. I don't. I screw up, and I try to say funny things, and I may offend some people, but that's me, and that's who I'm going to be, and I'm not going to allow that to be a hindrance of who I think of myself as being, or or trying to, I guess, perfect my success based on hoping how other people will accept me and what opportunities they'll give me.
Yeah. Well said.
So, yeah. So we went to the Oban, and let's talk about last week's trip and your little
Yeah.
adventure.
Yeah. Last week, for work, my boss basically asked me at the start of the week if I would have been interested in driving down to North Carolina to pick up a trailer and then driving back. And I said, yeah, maybe. And he said, okay, well, if I don't find anybody, then I might have you do it. And I said, okay. Thursday comes around, I haven't heard anything. It's like, okay, well, maybe I'm not doing it this week, or maybe he found somebody or something. The end of Thursday, I'm clocking out. He says, hey, you want to go down to North Carolina tomorrow? It's like, okay, a little bit of a late notice, but yeah, I guess. I don't know. I was excited to go down and just kind of drive and get paid and not have to pay for a hotel room and whatnot. And basically, yeah. So then we left. We get down there at like 2 a.m. in North Carolina on, well, I guess Saturday morning, I guess. And we stayed. It was a rough drive. It was a lot of rain on the way going down. It's going through Virginia and West Virginia, and it's very hilly, and it was raining, and I didn't have the trailer on or anything, but it felt like a long, long drive. And then
And when you say that your boss said, "Hey, if I can't find anybody else, then I'll let you know," what he meant was,
yeah.
if I can't find someone who would be able to do it for cheaper than what I'm
Yeah.
going to have to
Yeah.
pay you,
Yeah.
I would like you to go get the trailer, right? Like,
Yeah.
it was a matter of, I wonder who can get me the trailer down there as quick as possible, and who's gonna be a safer driver, and how
No,
it's going to
yeah.
get home. I think it was all financial,
Oh, yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean, I don't have a CDL or anything, which I don't even know if you need a CDL to have a trailer, but I know you have to have one to drive truck and like dump trucks and things like that. But I mean, it's like a 22-foot trailer plus the hitch. So I think in total it's like 24, 25, 26 feet. But yeah, I mean, I've gotten used to driving a trailer, so it wasn't a big deal or anything. But adding the rain and whatnot to it on the way back was, I don't know, it wasn't too bad.
Well, how many miles did you drive? How many miles was it from there back home? How many?
I think it was 600 or something like that. 620 maybe.
Is that it?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
620, 650, something like that. It ended up being like, well, on GPS it's like a 10-hour and 15-minute drive. In reality, it was probably like 13 because we had to stop for
Because of the rain.
gas. It was raining. You have to stop for gas we had to stop for gas like 3 or 4 times. Um, we stopped and ate once, but I mean that was a gas stop. And it was raining, so I didn't really feel comfortable going 70 miles an hour down those huge hills with rain still. And yeah, actually on the way back, we had just gotten off the highway, and it was basically like a four-way intersection, and there was a stoplight. And I don't know if the person wasn't paying attention or something, but this little tiny pickup truck comes up behind us, 2 lanes to my left. I hear, "Er!" And then the truck starts spinning in circles. It took out like a traffic sign, and it didn't flip, thankfully, but it went into the median in the grass area, and it didn't hit anybody else. But it was like, wow, that could have been way worse, because I mean this guy was flying, and he just like he must not have been paying attention. Then he punched his brakes and they locked up, and he just started spinning around. It
What
was
time was this?
uh had to have been like maybe 4 o'clock. It was still light out. Probably like 4 or 5
Oh, in the
o'clock.
afternoon.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And this is as you were almost getting back home?
We were probably like halfway.
Okay. You were getting off to get gas.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah. And then
I know.
it was like 4 teenagers got out of the truck or something. So who knows? But yeah, it was I don't know. It is very surprising that nobody got hurt because that could have went way worse. They definitely could have flipped. And
Oh,
yeah,
that's terrible.
yeah.
I don't know if you remember this. This might have been before your time, but there used to be a TV show, and I don't remember what channel it was on, but it was called, I think it was called Shipping Wars,
Mm-mm.
where there was these guys that used to have trucks, and they would pull trailers like with just unique stuff, and they would go pick stuff people's up, and then they would try to like make sure that their trip there, they would be able to pick up something else that would fit on the trailer,
Mm.
so they could make as much money as
Oh,
possible. And I was like, man, dude, you could have like, what if you could have got on that website, picked up the trailer, and then like
yeah.
called a whole bunch of people crap on like a
Yeah.
couple of cars or
Yeah,
something like
yeah, yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and made even
And
more money.
made an extra little buck or two. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously the trailer wouldn't have been new because you bought a brand new trailer. Maybe you would have had a
Yeah.
couple of scratches on it or something like that. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that wouldn't have been a bad idea.
but you said you go to this place and it was like essentially a great big outdoor company that just specifically sold those types of trailers. Like it
Mm-hmm.
was a big business for trailers, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They sold like flatbed trailers, like covered in trailers, dump trailers, every kind of trailer you could probably think of. But yeah. It was like a
Like
dealership for trailers. Like they had people come in and they had salespeople showing them around and telling them about this trailer versus that trailer, and yeah, it was. I had never seen something like that.
did the trailer you pick up have like the ramps on it so you could drive a car up on it or like a skid steer or anything like that or
Yeah, it doesn't have ramps. It's tilt. So like three quarters. So like this is your trailer, and then like this is the front. Like three quarters of the way, there's like a split in it, and basically, if you don't have anything on it already, you unlock the tilt and you go stand at the very back, put the weight all on the back, and then the trailer tilts up, so you can just drive up on it, and it doesn't need ramps or anything like that. And then when you drive up, it tilts back
oh
down.
wow.
But yeah.
Is it hydraulic?
Um, I'm sure there's something hydraulic in it, but it's mostly just
Did you
gravity.
have now let me ask you, did you have paperwork and specifications of what the trailer was going to be to make sure you got the right one?
I mean, he told me the length and he told me that it was a tilt trailer, but other than that, I sent him a picture after I picked it up. And I mean, they had our company's information and everything, but yeah, if they would have gave me like a different model or something, I wouldn't have known anything. I mean,
That's
he
what I
didn't
was
tell
hoping
me
to.
anything. He told me there was a 22-foot tilt trailer. And I said, all right, that's all.
Did you have a tape measure?
Yeah, I did. I
Did you
didn't,
measure it?
I didn't measure it. I mean, I was talking to the people and they told me how long it was. So I took their word for it. I wasn't going to get my tape measure out and measure it, but I mean, it looked right.
Like, do you realize how funny that would have been if you would have drove all the hell the way back and they would have given you the wrong trailer?
Yeah, that wouldn't have been my fault. He couldn't have blamed me because he
Oh
didn't give
my!
me any information.
Did he like the picture?
I mean, I sent him the picture and he said everything's good, lights work and everything on it, and yeah. So, I mean, that's pretty much all he
Did you
said.
did you make sure the light works? The lights worked.
Yeah, it was like something that they required or something. The trailer place, just so I couldn't
Okay.
leave the place.
Did you have to like plug it in to make sure? Like, I'm assuming the turn signals and it was attached to the brakes. It hooked up.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
The
okay.
the truck that I was driving actually had a blown fuse, so they had just like a little, I don't know. They have a bunch of them there, and he just popped the hood real quick, swapped the fuses out, and the lights worked. But yeah.
Did you know it had a blown fuse before you drove all the way
Well,
down?
okay. So initially, like I was telling you, I don't know if I was telling you or our other brother Isaac about it, and we were talking about how one of our trailer's brakes worked, but the other trailer's brakes did not work. And my boss was telling me that I was going to have to switch the actual plug that you plug the electric part of the trailer into for the lights and the brakes and stuff to work. And he was like, "Oh, I think you just need to swap that out." And I was like, "How does that make any sense if one of the trailer's brakes work and the other trailer's brakes don't work?" And then the running lights, like just the little yellow lights for like when you're driving at night, and so that way people can see your trailer and don't run into it and whatnot. Those weren't working, so that's what the fuse was blown on. The brakes were actually working, and the turn signals and whatnot, though that was all working, but the running lights were not. The fuse was blown for that, so that's what they had swapped out.
So one of the most important aspects of somebody going on a 600 and some mile drive with that trailer,
Yeah,
we're not working.
yeah.
And did you know that it was a blown fuse, or were you?
Dude,
just,
I
you guys
didn't know what it was. I mean,
So that could have been really bad.
yeah, could have.
Because
Zero
the
prep.
trailer lights weren't working.
Yeah.
You could have
well,
gotten pulled over, probably,
mm-hmm. And
or it was a worse accident.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Zero prep work went into it. He basically said, "Go get this, go come back." And it's like, okay. Insane.
Do you know if they charged him for the fuse?
I doubt it.
Uh,
But I mean, it was something that those guys probably deal with every single day. So they immediately knew what it was, but me never having to deal with that issue, I had not known what it was. So
Did you ask him, like, hey, just out of general curiosity, like, how much would you guys charge someone to ship this all the way back up to
No,
such and such address?
I didn't think about it.
To see how much you were getting ripped off?
Yeah, I didn't think about that. It was probably a lot more than I went down for, though. I would take a wild guess.
Yeah. Especially for your $150 hotel that you had to choose between.
At 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where'd you say? Hilton, Marriott, Super 8?
Yeah, it wasn't a Hilton, it was, I don't know, Hampton, that's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get a free continental breakfast?
We did. We took full advantage of that. I had a very hefty breakfast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like buffet style?
Yeah, it was like, it was pretty good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. They had muffins, hard-boiled eggs, omelets, cereal, milk, apple juice.
French toast, pancakes.
No French
Bacon.
toast and no pancakes. I didn't see any bacon either.
Oh.
But, yeah. I mean, we still ate the crap out of it, though.
Omelets.
Yep, there were omelets.
Oh, nice. Okay. There you go. Waffle.
There were waffles. We didn't have any, though. Yep.
I haven't had a big old carb-loaded breakfast
Yeah.
3 or 4 years.
Yeah. We ate the crap out of that, though. I had some Raisin Bran.
So what did you learn from this little experience?
to ask more questions before I go down and just get a trailer for work.
Only to get a trailer for work, or did you learn to ask more questions in regards to anything?
Yeah.
you have to do with-
Yeah, just more so anything. Whereas, hey, you want to go down and get this? Oh, sure. By the time I get back, hey, we're not going to pay you overtime for this. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, what? Which they ended up paying me for, but still, it was just like, it was insane. It was ridiculous, but
That's where you go and put like nails right under the trailer tires.
yeah,
So
yeah,
somebody must have been, hey, do you know what happened to like the trailer tires? Like they're all flat. Like, I don't know.
weird.
If you want me to look at it this weekend and you were willing to pay me overtime, I might be able to check it out. But other than that, I don't know.
Yeah, I could probably patch them for you, but I don't know.
It's gonna cost you a little bit though. Or you
Yeah.
just go out there and let all the air out of them.
Yeah, yeah, yep. Could.
Or what you could do is, if you would have been watching, you learn how to take that fuse out. So then every time somebody else drives the truck, they need you to be like, how do we figure out how to get these lights? Ask Jake. Like,
Yeah.
I have to work on it all weekend long. You guys
Yeah.
bring me some overtime.
Yeah, literally, it's just you open up the fuse box, take some pliers, pop that one out, pop the other one back in. It's like a 30-second thing. The most difficult part is just looking at the diagram of which one's which.
Obviously, somebody at your work did not know
Oh
that, so
no.
that now you have the keys to that secret.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yep. Now I know that.
So, was the experience of driving to North Carolina all that you expected it to be?
The drive down there, it wasn't too great because it was dark. We had a lot of driving in the dark and rain, and that wasn't great. But the actual drive back it was pretty nice. Going through Virginia and West Virginia and just kind of looking at all the views. Like it wasn't like driving through Ohio or something, which we did have to drive through Ohio too, and just like looking at all the cornfields and windmill crap, and it was boring drive. But going through Virginia and West Virginia and being up in the hills and seeing all of the forest all around and kind of seeing the roads going in between. It was a lot of cool sights to see. So it wasn't too bad of a drive.
Did you meet any interesting characters or see any interesting characters going through West Virginia?
No, not really. We didn't really talk to anybody except for the trailer people.
Oh, okay.
And then
What about the people at the hotel?
at the hotel, yeah, when the first one that we went to, we looked up online. That one was like a Holiday Inn or something, and we looked up online. It says, "Oh yeah, they have X amount of free rooms for like $100 something." So we didn't book it online because we were like 2 minutes away, and we are like, "Oh, just go in there and stop in." And I walk in, and there's this guy. He looks like he hates his job at 2:30 in the morning. I'm like, "Do you guys have any rooms available?" I checked online, and I said, "You guys had some." He said, "Nope, booked out." I said, "Alrighty." So I just left and went to a different one. And we went into the parking lot and started calling around, and then we called 2 or 3, and nobody picked up. And then the Hampton, somebody picked up and said, "Yeah, we have rooms." So we went there and yeah, got a room there. But we stayed for like 6 hours or something. Yeah. Basically slept and left right away. Slept, woke up, ate breakfast, left, and showered.
Because you did all the driving by yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, that sounds so terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
26 hours of driving.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I told you on your way down, you should just drive down here.
Yeah. Yeah. Then I would have I would have doubled my trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a lot of driving though. It was fun. Lesson learned, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I think road trips can be fun. Obviously, driving in the rain is not super enjoyable,
Mhm.
but you get to see a lot of the country, especially, I guess, you haven't really been all that many places. So that was your first time ever really driving through the mountains or anything like that. I don't know. You were a little, I remember when I stopped playing college baseball, Dad took you all the way out to Texas.
Yeah.
Dad drove all the way
Yeah.
out there. You remember going through any of those places or looking out and seeing
Uh,
any of that area?
I remember going through them. I don't remember any of the sites or anything like that though.
Okay. Because I know you had to go through Missouri to be able to see like the arches, and then there were some like big mountains over there in that area.
Yeah.
And then like Texas, I don't know if you remember any of that.
Yeah. A little bit, not really. I remember every state that we stopped at, we stopped and got a little map though. That's like the thing I remember most about the trip is just looking at all of the maps of the different states, I think. That and just laying in the back of what was it, a Suburban or what did we take?
I think the big truck.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah. Sleeping in the back of that. That's what I remember the most about that trip, I think.
You guys slept in the back of it?
I did. While he was driving, I just got in the back and slept. Not in
Like
like
in
the
the
bed. It had seats in the back.
oh oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he would not let me sleep in the bed with the cover on.
Well, yeah. So I didn't know if you guys like that's where you guys slept, like you and
Oh.
him, like
Yeah,
you stopped.
I don't think we stopped at a hotel or anything. We just kind of stopped at the rest areas and slept there. I guess I don't remember though.
His dad was all about just driving like full through. Like
Yeah.
I think it was like you guys picked me up, you rested for a couple hours, and then we drove like straight back.
Mhm. Yeah.
No rest at all.
Yeah. Well, plenty of rest for me. Not any rest for dad though.
Yeah. Well, that was like 24 hours getting all the way out there, and then 24 hours getting back. Like
Yeah.
holy smoke, dude.
Yeah, that was a long drive. It felt like forever because I was in kindergarten.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have any other road trips you want to go?
Um, Plenty of road trips. Not anywhere in specific. Um, I like road trips a fair bit though.
I would like to go like through New York and
Hmm.
Northeast. I think out to like well, not South Dakota. I've been out that way a little bit, but like some of the national parks out in that area, Wyoming,
Hmm.
Montana, maybe down through California, and then
Hmm.
like through Arizona over by the Grand Canyon. I think those would be some pretty cool places
Yeah,
to
definitely.
go.
Yeah.
It's really cool in the United States, like where you're essentially driving through so many different parts of a country to where you can see so many different
Yeah.
terrain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think when Mac was on, he was kind of talking about over in Europe. I mean, these countries, some of their countries over there are like the size of our states. So it's like you're driving to all of these different countries in our country, and it's cool to look at all of the different cultures and scenery and monuments and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the thing is that in our country, there's not a lot of different cultures
Yeah.
other than like maybe the Midwest and then out east, but like where he was talking about, there's a lot of different cultures spread up in the small areas from country
Yeah.
to country to country to country.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Alrighty.
I appreciate you sharing all your stories about your trip.
Oh yeah.
Going into detail learning about that.
Yeah.
But anything else you want to talk about?
I don't have anything else.
All right, guys. Well, it felt good to be back on the air,
Yep.
bringing you the best podcast not known to man,
Yep.
but maybe possibly known to the people of Sturgis, Michigan. Probably not. But thanks everybody for listening. We enjoyed just getting to laugh and be back here.
Hmm.
Who knows what next week will bring, but I'm sure we'll have something to talk about because I sure as hell always do.
Alrighty.
All
Well,
right. See you, everybody.
see you later.